Three burning questions as we head into the Calgary Flames training camp. And Eric, the logjam down the middle seems to have everybody talking about it. How is Jeff Ward going to make his decisions on who is playing center for the Calgary Flames?
Well, it starts off with Michael Backlund. Sean Monahan and Derek Ryan, to me, are locks up the middle. But this coach, Jeff Ward, has gone on record many times in the offseason talking about how he really, really wants to use Elias Lindholm, or at least try him up the middle. He considers him to be his most complete and best forward, and certainly defensively, he's very responsible. He wants that. He's putting a premium on that this year. He's also spoken about using Sam Bennett up the middle after the great playoff run he had last year, where he really had a lot of emotion and was such a real big part of the Calgary Flames play-in success against Winnipeg and even against Dallas. So there's five guys. To me, at the end of the day, Sam Bennett's the one who's going to be moved back to the wing. Don't call it a demotion. It's just where I think he fits really well. And I think that's how you're going to see that lineup go. This coach hates putting numbers, as every coach does, first line, second line, third line, fourth line. But to me, Elias Lindholm, they'd love to be their first line center. Michael Backlund and his line, solid number two. Sean Monahan and Johnny Gaudreau really believe this year will be used in third line minutes, 5-on-5. On power play, they're the first over the boards. But 5-on-5, I think those guys are going to have diminished minutes this year.
Bold. And then who then will play with Johnny Gaudreau and Sean Monahan on what you say is the third line?
I like Sam Bennett. I think they're going to give guys like Dylan Dubé, Dominic Simone. There's a guy who they picked up from the KHL, but the Pittsburgh Penguins and Sidney Crosby raves about his ability to play on a top line and fish the puck out of the corner and get it to the stars. Josh Levo might even get a chance with those guys. But at the end of the day, I think the best fit is Sam Bennett. There's a guy who had some muscle, some truculence. He's a guy who can protect those two guys if the going gets tough. He can go into those corners and win those battles. I think that is a really good fit. Monahan, Gaudreau, and Sam Bennett.
I think there's a lot of pressure on Sam Bennett to find that next gear. It looked like he found it in the postseason. He wants to keep that momentum going. I think you may be onto something. That's a complementary piece for those two players. Okay, third and final question then. Who takes the most of the opportunity? Who makes the most of the opportunity heading into camp and maybe carries it on into the regular season?
Well, there are a lot of guys with the Flames this year that are going to be given a chance to really shine. I think Juuso Välimäki at the back end is going to be a fascinating player to watch all year. But I think the guy who is going to be given another great opportunity and will really take the ball and run with it is Andrew Mangiapane. Last year, he played on that Backlund, Tkachuk line, and they were the best line the Calgary Flames had last season. He had a very slow start. He missed camp last year, ended up with 17 goals, was on pace for a 20-goal season in a full year. I think this year, if they were playing 82 games, he could really broach the 25-goal mark. I think that's the sort of pace he's looking at this year, because I do think he'll stay predominant with those two players, because that was a dynamite line for these guys. He's 24 years old, and I really think he's going to make a name for himself from coast to coast this year.
Hard to argue. I'm going to go with Dylan Dubé, though, the local product from Calgary here, who really took another step in his development, and he is turning heads, Eric. And not only what we saw in the postseason, you and I saw it live, just how explosive he was. He's lean. He's just overall a lot more confident. And you talk to his teammates at any point, they'll say you win with guys like Dylan Dubé. I think he's going to get every opportunity to continue on this path of what we've seen, and I think he's going to run with it. I think we'll be talking about him a lot come this regular season. That has been your three burning questions ahead of the Calgary Flames training camp.